Hello, this is Jody Shirami at Astro Podcast. Welcome to my weekly astrology report. This is the week of February 9th through February 16th of 2024. Hi, thank you for joining me today on my podcast. Thank you. Astro Podcast is filmed on Studio Cloud9. Thank you. So, the big news of today that we talked about a little bit last week is that it's a new moon today in Aquarius, meeting up with Pluto at 0 degrees as the new moon shifts into Aquarius. And a new moon is always when the moon is with the sun and the moon is dark, so it's new. There is no reflection from the sun. The new moon in Aquarius meeting up with Pluto is a very, very big deal for our inner needs, who we are, what we identify with that makes us feel secure. Who are we and what is it that we like and need to feel comfortable, especially in private at home. So here we are with the moon in Aquarius meeting up with the sun to make a new moon, and it also meeting up with Pluto. So we are really, really in it now. We are on that roller coaster ride. We are climbing our way up there, and we are starting to feel it internally. We are feeling this little itch, this need. We don't know. We feel something happening, but there's not much action right now out in the world because the planets, after been retrograde, been kind of out of sight of the Earth for a while. Now that we're all awakened, all the planets are now woke. They're moving around and causing kind of a lot of traffic, some traffic jams, because they're not used to all be moving at the same time and in the same area of the chart. So this this movement is happening, and we can feel it, we can sense it, especially those of us that are very sensitive. We can feel this movement happening. New moon in Aquarius, which is ruled by its traditional ruler Saturn, which also rules over Capricorn, and its new ruler that was discovered 248 years ago is Uranus. And Uranus is now considered the true ruler of Aquarius in terms of it is electric, it is electricity, which is what Uranus rules over, communication, and it's a fixed communication. So Aquarians are very stubborn, they're fixed in their ways, and they are of a higher mind because Uranus is a higher octave of Mercury, meaning that Mercury is very happy here to be here. And Mercury is in Aquarius and moved in here last week, as you remember. And it also met up with Pluto. Now, our thoughts, the way we communicate it, has gone through the Pluto portal, bringing us into the mindset of innovation, of working together as a group, coming together as a collective, and bonding over the fact that we all need basically the same things, right? So now that the moon is going through Pluto, getting washed through Pluto's dark, deep waters of contemplation, we are now being asked emotionally to let go of things that no longer serve us. And that's the big news of today and this Friday, is that as the weekend comes in, tomorrow on Saturday, there's going to be a square with Uranus, ruler of Aquarius, that's in Taurus, that's also awake, is causing some miscommunications right now. And so there's going to be a square tomorrow causing us some anxiety. So really understand that Uranus is the planet that can cause anxiety and also shocking news. And being a fixed sign of Aquarius, being ruled by a planet that is full of jarring news and and kind of lightning speed news and things out of the blue, it makes a Aquarius person kind of high strung. They can be absent minded. They're usually very intellectual, the way they think, the way they go about things. And as the days go on here, Mars makes the first move on February 13th. Mars enters Aquarius. And then on the 16th, Venus enters Aquarius. So Mercury highest octave is Uranus. Mars' highest octave is Pluto. And Pluto is in the sign that Uranus rules over, Aquarius. And so now Mars is shifting into Aquarius on the 13th of February. And when that occurs, dynamic yet erratic energy levels occur, achieving our goals through hit or miss tactics. And impersonal expression of anger are characteristics of Mars in Aquarius. We are team players, cooperative, and less concerned about personal power, but we are more detached and approach things intellectually. This is cafeastrology.com, and really want to make a point of saying this part. It is impersonal expression of anger are characteristic of Mars in Aquarius. So impersonal expression of anger means basically passive aggressive. This is passive aggressive energy. This is when someone's angry and they don't know how to express it. So they'll do little things that you can see it coming, and you're not, and things happen. People run into you, or they say things in a kindly manner that are not nice to say. So these are kind of passive aggressive behaviors, and we're seeing a lot of that out in the world in terms of flying immigrants to other states. And that's a passive aggressive type of behavior because rather than discuss it openly and talk about it, you'd rather go and, you know, bully the other person in a passive aggressive way. So these are things that could definitely be happening. It is the low side of Mars in Aquarius, obviously, right? Because we're already seeing that in action, Mars and Aquarius and Pluto. Pluto in Aquarius is there to dissolve and make the way we interact with each other change in the next 20 years. So in 2046, we believe, astrologers, that you won't recognize the new rules, the new ways we communicate. Things will be changed so much, and no one can predict what's going to happen. Because no one could have predicted that someone was going to drop the atomic bomb during World War II to end the conflict in World War II. And things don't start off as World War I, World War II, World War III. They start off as mini conflicts that eventually reach global traumatizing situations because now it's too late. We're out of food. There's not enough food. There people aren't farmers anymore. They don't know how to farm, and so on and so on and so on. And then when Venus enters Aquarius on February 16th, we can expect that Venus enters Aquarius. We move towards unconventionality, independence, and freedom as themes in our social relationships under this influence. Aquarius can be just as faithful as Capricorn, but it has to be on its own terms. Experimental relationships are more intriguing now. Being friends as well as lovers is important. We treat people as equals and take our friendships, causes, and interests seriously. Being true to ourselves is of the utmost importance in our relationship. Venus in Aquarius is a friendly but aloof period. So again, Aquarius is an air sign and it is detached emotionally. And it's a good pause before we head into Pisces season where emotions are going to be consuming us. So in this way, we have a chance to emotionally detached. Um, our desires are detached. Our thinking, our communication is detached. Our actions, what we use our energy to go towards, is detached. Everything we do now is going to go through a scientific evaluation. We're going to look at the cause and effect. Is it worth our time? If not, then we just detach from that goal and go towards another goal. And this is what's going to be happening until February 18th, when the sun shifts into Pisces and emotions come into play. So for the time being, especially over the holiday of St. Valentine, which is known to be about love and romantic love, isn't really that. It's been marketed that way. But St. Valentine's Day is about group love. Think about it being in the time of the Aquarius season. That's an air sign that's detached. Um, so Aquarians need love. Obviously, everyone needs love, and it might not be expressed as easily as they might like it to be expressed. And we will be going through that same feeling for the next week and a half, where we can be detached, and it's a good time to look at our goals, look at our dreams, and see if they're practical or not practical, especially as Uranus in Taurus, being awake, has started some seismic shifts. Again, the volcano in Iceland is erupted again. And so all these things, Jupiter in Taurus is also bringing the rain. It's coming in the atmospheric river. It's been a little bit warmer than we'd all like, so there's a lot of melting, a lot of flooding, and we still have another month and a half of winter to go. So it appears that winter is really being not as severe as, and that's a good thing. We like that it's warm, but the problem is that the flooding now, with the water coming in instead of being snow, it's flooding right away, causing landslides and all kinds of traumatic things. So even though winter doesn't seem to be as bad with a lot of ice and snow, other things are happening that seem just as traumatic, with the mud and the rivers flooding and landslides and tornadoes, all kinds of stuff, right? So everything's happening at once. And this is what we've been warning everyone, our listeners, about, is that everything's on cue. Um, Ready, set, go. The action's here. It's going to be here for a while until Mercury takes its retrograde in a little bit. As we move towards next week, happy Valentine's Day. And understand that the love that we are feeling, we need to share with others. And it's not always easy. Not everyone's accepting of love, and they might not know that about themselves. But that's just how the world is. Half of the people in the world are not going to like what you have to offer and who you are. And that's just the way it's always been. So how do we learn to exist with each other? 5 here, 5 there, 1 there, 1 there. It's all equal right now, right? So how does that work? It works only when we are willing to love everything about ourselves that's not always perfect, and understand that other people aren't perfect, and know your boundaries, and understand you can get along with everyone in the right time, in the right space, but not everyone needs to be in your personal space, in your close friend space, in your family space. And there's a public persona and a home persona. And your home persona is your moon. Your moon dictates what your home life is like. And for me, since I'm a Pisces moon, I love watching movies because Pisces rules over movies. That's why I love to go to Sundance and see how the movie business works, how everything's done, all the credits, who are in all those credits, what do they do? It's very exciting. It's like a puzzle, seeing all these things come together, making a grand movie that's just awesome. So that's what I like to do with my family. We watch shows together. We watch TV. We're big Super Bowl fans. We love football. My sons played football in college, the two oldest, and they all play football. And so it's just a time that when we're at home, we're relaxed. And Pisces is very emotional. I love to hug, all those things. And so all these things are going through changes as my children get older. You don't necessarily hug your kids and kiss them the same way you did when they were little, especially in public, because that really embarrasses them. So these are all things that we're changing and moving away from, and it is a difficult thing. We've had people pass away this year, God bless us, and there's war in the world. So basically, it's here, the time's here. Take your chance now if you got something you want to do. Move towards it. Listen to your gut. Don't doubt yourself. And just be patient with yourself, with other people, because everyone's going through a change. And just always know that what you do should be from the heart and should be a good thing, but always have to take care of yourself first so you can take care of others. Remember that. And that's about it for this week. And next week, we're going to head into Pisces season on February 18th, and we will talk about that because there will be a stellium in Aquarius starting next week. There will be the sun, the moon. Well, the moon's there for a couple days. Not quite there long enough for the big stellium, but be the sun and moon and Mercury together, and that's a stellium. That's 3. But as the moon shifts out, you're still going to have the sun, Mercury, Venus, and Mars. 4. More than a stellium. 4 of them will be there in Aquarius as the moon shifts out. So it's going to be a big, big time to really download and upload those messages coming from the cosmos. And it appears there is a big halo on the sun. It has power and it is pushing Mars into Aquarius. So Mars has extra oomph this time around as it gets into Aquarius and meets up with Pluto. So really be mindful of how you communicate because Aquarius is a fixed air sign. Be careful how you communicate with your loved ones, what it is you need, what it is you want, and pay attention to how you go about that with Uranus very active, with Jupiter and Saturn involved, Neptune. All the big power players are out there. So be mindful, breathe deeply, manage your anxiety, your expectations, go with the flow, and be in silence when you need to be so that you can detach yourself. And it's a good time to detach these next couple of weeks, another week and a half. But it's still, you can still be detached with Venus and Mercury and Mars still in Aquarius for a little bit more time, almost a month there and there, a couple of weeks. Okay? So thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. Thank you for my subscribers on YouTube and my other channels. I really, really appreciate you. And please come back and I'll see you next week. This is Jody Shirami. I'm sending lots of love, lots of prayers, and wishing you lots of peace and lots of love. Thank you. Bye.